If you are running a B2B SaaS company right now and you are struggling to figure out how to actually get customers profitably, this video is going to solve that problem for you. We are going to cover three main things. First, how to position your product to attract high budget customers. Second, how to find the right audience that will actually pay what you are worth. And third, the four main customer acquisition channels and which one you should actually be using based on where you are right now. So if you are ready to stop hanging around with acquisition strategies that don't work and actually build something that scales, let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing we need to talk about is positioning. And this is the part that most SaaS founders get wrong about because they think positioning is just about how you describe your product on your website or in your pitch deck. But that's not what positioning is. Positioning is about who you are targeting and what transformation you are promising them. Now, let me give you an example for that. Let's say a CRM tool. Let's say you built a CRM tool, like a standard CRM, nothing crazy. You can track contacts, you can manage deals, you can send emails, all that stuff. And most founders would position this like we're a CRM for small businesses, sign up for $99 a month and manage your contacts better, right? This is a positioning problem because what you have just done is told the market that you have a commodity product fighting on price with every other CRM out there. And to solve this problem, instead of your positioning your CRM for small businesses, you position yourself as a done-for-you CRM implementation for B2B SaaS companies that want to scale their sales team from 1 rep to 10 reps in the next 12 months, maybe. Now, you are charging $5,000 to $10,000 upfront for the setup, plus the monthly subscription you have. It's the same product, but completely different positioning. Now, to go from this to this, what changed? First, you got specific about who you serve. You said B2B SaaS companies that want to scale their sales team from 1 rep to 10 reps in the next 12 months, right? Second, you focused on the transformation rather than your features. You didn't say manage your contacts better, but you said scale from 1 reps to 10 reps. And third, you bundled implementation with the product. Now you are not just selling your software, your CRM software, but you are selling the outcome as well. You are selling scaling from 1 rep to 10 reps, right? This is what I mean by positioning to attract high budget customers. Because high budget customers don't buy just software. They buy solutions to expensive problems they have. So your positioning needs to speak to the expensive problem you solve, and not just your products of your future. And when you do this correctly, you can charge 5x to 10x more for the same exact product you have. Alright, so now that you understand positioning, let's talk about the audience. Because you can have the best positioning in the world, but if you are targeting the wrong people, it doesn't matter, right? Now, here is what you need to understand about audience selection for B2B SaaS. You need to find customers who have these four characteristics. One, fast sales cycles. You don't want to be stuck in 6 months enterprise sales cycles when you're trying to scale, right? You want deals that close in 2 to 4 weeks max. Ideally shorter than that, but this is a good range. Two, high ticket size. Obviously, you need customers who can afford to pay 3K, 5K, 10K, 15K, what you are selling. And three, high retention. If you are signing customers who churn after 2 months, your unit economics are terrible because you need customers who stick for 12 months minimum. So your LTV can be much higher and you can actually start pouring money into your acquisition because the back of the engine is solid. Now you can improve the front of your engine, your acquisition engine. So it's extremely important. And for your potential customers, must be easier to get on calls. This is underrated. Some industries are just harder to reach out than others. You want customers who will actually take sales calls with you. This is important. Now, here is an example of how this works in practice. Let's say you build a marketing attribution tool. You can sell this to e-commerce brands, or you could sell this to B2B SaaS companies, right? Now, e-commerce brands are volume buyers. They want cheap tools, they want to test it first, and they want fast implementation because everything happens so fast in e-commerce. And they churn like crazy because their business is seasonal and unpredictable. Everyone says Q4, Q4, Q4. So they're very seasonal business, e-commerce brands. But on the other hand, B2B SaaS companies are different than them. They have longer sales cycles, but higher budgets. And they value implementation and support. And they stick around because they're building long-term businesses. They don't want to um, jump from one provider to another provider constantly. So if you're trying to build a high-ticket offer for your B2B SaaS companies are the better audience for you. Now, this is what I mean by finding the right audience. Of course, this changed a lot for the product you have, but for the most of the products, B2B sales companies are better than the e-commerce brands to work with. Now, let's say you find the right audience, but you still want to make more money from each customer. What do? You add service elements to your product to increase your average contract value. This is what we do for every single client we work with at AdVergent. We take their existing SaaS product, their low ticket product, and we package it with done for you implementation or strategic consulting or ongoing support or like whatever makes sense for that specific business. And this lets us charge like 3K, 5K, 10K, 17K, up to 17K. We have clients that charge 35K upfront instead of $99 a month. It's the same product, same core product, but just packaged differently, right? The customers who want to do it themselves can still sign up for the $99 a month plan, the low ticket plan. But the customers who want it done for them will pay 10 times more. And those high ticket customers are the ones who fuel your growth because you make significantly more profit upfront. Like, I mean, 17K, 35K. Alright, so now you have got your positioning dialed in, you know who your audience is. Now we need to talk about how to actually get those customers. There are four main channels you can use: outbound, SEO, LinkedIn content, and paid ads. Let's go through each one and I will tell you when it makes sense to use each channel. Starting with outbound. Outbound is cold email, cold calling, LinkedIn DMs, Twitter DMs, all that stuff. The big advantage of outbound is that it's cheap and it's predictable. You can start getting feedback from your market immediately, and you can test your messaging, your offer. You can see what resonates, and you can iterate fast. You can find the winner element of your offer or of your positioning fast with outbound. The problem with outbound is the technical infrastructure. If you are doing cold email, for example, you need to manage sender domains, you need to do email warm up, you need to do inbox rotation, you need to check data routines constantly, all the technical stuff that breaks all the time. And if you are doing LinkedIn outreach, for example, you are constantly fighting against LinkedIn's limits and restrictions, like sometimes permanent restrictions. For example, I got banned from LinkedIn once permanently, and I had to change my phone. I had to change my MacBook and my internet service provider just to keep using LinkedIn. So outbound works, but it's hard to run at scale. If you're a beginner and you are just getting started, outbound makes sense because you can get fast feedback without spending a lot of money and you can iterate fast. But if you're trying to scale past like 50K a month, 100K a month, outbound becomes a bottleneck because you are constantly fighting technical issues. The next one is SEO. And look, SEO can work for B2B SaaS, but it's basically impossible to start with SEO when you're early because you get no leads when you first start. You need to publish content consistently for 6 to 12 months before you start seeing any meaningful traffic, any meaningful um, normal traffic or client traffic, customer traffic. And even then, you are competing with every other company in your space who has been doing SEO for years. So SEO makes sense if you're already generating revenue and you want to build long-term organic channel. But if you are trying to get customers right now in today's world, SEO is not the answer for you. The next one is LinkedIn content. LinkedIn content makes sense if you are selling an enterprise solution or even if you are selling low ticket to mid ticket B2B SaaS product. But the problem is, just like SEO, you need to wait to see traction. And ideally, you need a team for that. If you're a team of 5 or 10, for example, and they're all posting consistently on LinkedIn, you can build some momentum over time, and it can work. There are companies that has been doing this. Like for example, Hey Rich is one of them. They're all posting consistently, all of the team, and they got a good traction from their LinkedIn content system. But if it's just you as a sole founder or with your co-founder, just posting once a day, you need to wait for at least 6 to 12 months to see a meaningful traction. So LinkedIn content can work, but it's not a channel you should rely on. Now let's talk about paid ads and specifically meta ads. And this is the channel that I want you to pay the most attention to because this is the channel that actually scales. Paid ads on Meta are the most predictable revenue channel for B2B SaaS because one, it scales infinitely. Who doesn't use Instagram or Facebook? Exactly. Your customers are already on these platforms. Second, it gets you leads systematically. You are not relying on manual outreach or hoping people find your content, right? You are putting your offer in front of the qualified buyers every single day, multiple times a day. And three, if your creative is good, you automatically attract high budget customers. Let me explain this because this is important. With traditional outbound, if you want to reach high budget prospects, you need to pay for an expensive lead list. You are paying more money to get access to those leads because they have high budget. But with paid ads, you automatically attract high budget leads if your creative is good enough. So you don't need to pay extra money. You just need to nail the messaging and the creative. And the best part about paid ads, you can scale predictably. Let me walk you through the math. Let's say you are selling your product for $5,000 and your customer acquisition cost is $1,000. That's a 5 to 1 LTV to CAC ratio, right? Now, what does that mean? It means every time you get a customer, you can immediately reinvest that cash to acquire 5 more customers. So you sign one customer, you collect $5,000, you spend $1,000 to get them, right? Now you have $4,000 in cash. You take that $4,000 and you increase your ad spend. Now you sign 4 more customers. Now you have $20,000 in cash. You can see how this compounds, right? Now if you think like, but my product is low ticket, what should I do? You can do this even if you have a low ticket product. Simply by adding service elements to increase your average contract value. If you remember, I gave you a sneak peek earlier about this. Let's say you have a product that sells for $99 a month, right? It's standard SaaS pricing, like nothing crazy. You can't run profitable paid ads at $99 a month. You can't sell $99 a month product with paid ads. Your CAC is gonna be like $500 for a $99 a month product, and it's gonna take you 6 to 8 months just to break even with your other costs. But if you package that same product with done for you elements like setup and consulting, and if you charge $5,000, for example, now you can run profitable paid ads from day one. This is what we do for every client in Divergent. We take their existing product and we package it as a high ticket offer, and we build a paid ads funnel that drives qualified prospects into sales calls. And the results speak for themselves. We had clients go from 0 to 75k MRR in 45 days using this exact model. We had clients cut their CAC by 50% and increase their LTV to CAC ratio from 2 to 1 to 5 to 1. You can see this is a very significant improvement from 2 to 1 to 5 to 1. So this thing works. But look, I'm not saying outbound or SEO or LinkedIn content doesn't work. All of these channels can work depending on where you are at in your journey. But if you are trying to scale predictably and you want to build a customer acquisition system that actually compounds, paid ads is the answer. Because with paid ads, you are not limited by your time or your team's capacity. You are only limited by your unit economics. And when you have strong unit economics, I mean the high ticket offer we built for you, you can scale infinitely. Now, if you want to learn exactly how to set up and scale paid ads for your SaaS, I made a full video breaking down our entire paid ads framework. That video is linked on the screen right now. Go watch it. And if you got value from this video, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.